Hi, my name is Sanja. I'm doing the sheep heart video, sheep heart dissection. First, we're going to start with trying to the the skin of the pericardium or the epicardium, which is the thin layer that covers the heart, which is right here. I would like to point to the apex or the base of the heart, which is right here. You have mine somewhat, but again, this is the base of the heart. We're going to do the right and left atria, which is this is the frontal portion of the heart. This is the right atria right here with the auricles on each side, almost like flap-like sections. Let's see. This is the left auricle and the right auricle. And again, they are used to extend the atria when extra blood is needed, maybe during exercise. Okay, and the right atria receives deoxygenated blood. Stop. The right atria receives deoxygenated blood, and the left atria receives oxygenated blood from the pulmonary veins into the atrium. The left receives deoxygenated blood from the superior and inferior vena cava and the coronary sinus. And we are now going to do the, as I said, the auricles. And I explained that this is the right ventricle. You can see the musculature of the right ventricle. And then here, the larger size right here is the left ventricle. And the interventricular sulcus is right here, which goes down here. This covers the coronary arteries that gives the myocardium its blood supply on both sides, and it branches to the right marginal arteries, left, and so on, but that gives the blood supply to the myocardium. The pulmonary trunk is right here. That's this right here in the front. And this is coming from the right ventricle and is going, it will branch from the pulmonary trunk into 4 pulmonary arteries that goes into the lungs to exchange gases and waste. And then it will return to the left atrium via the pulmonary veins with oxygenated blood. The pulmonary trunk is deoxygenated blood, as I said, because it is going into the lungs to be oxygenated and then will return into the blood to the heart with a fresh source of oxygen. The ascending aorta, now right here is the aorta. I have this trunk right here. Okay, these are the aorta, the ascending aorta. And then I also, as I said, this is the main vessel. This is the main vessel that will go out to the circulation with oxygenated blood. And this right here is a brachiocephalic, which you can see is a branch right here that will also go out into the circulation toward the upper body. And this will carry oxygenated blood. The superior and inferior vena cava, which I'm going to turn now to the dorsal view of the heart, and the superior and inferior vena cava get that to go through. And that is going to be right here. You got the inferior vena cava and the superior vena cava. And these are going into the right atrium with deoxygenated blood. Okay. The coronary sinus is usually kind of right in here, and this is deoxygenated blood from the coming off from the coronary arteries and then coming back into going into the veins after it has oxygenated the myocardium, going into the veins and through the coronary sinus, and it's going to empty into the right atrium over here. So, you know, it will all come together and then empty into the right atrium with deoxygenated blood. Okay, we're going to go, it's going to come all the way and come on in. Okay, the coronary sinus is composed of three major veins, which is the great cardiac vein, the middle cardiac vein, and then the small cardiac vein that gathers the deoxygenated blood from the inferior margin of the heart. Then I'm going to go to the internal anatomy of the heart, okay? Now, we're going to show the pectinate, which is the inner wall. Let me see which one looks better. Right here is the pectinate. No, I'm sorry. This is the pectinate, which is the smooth area of the walls of the atrium. Okay. This as well as the smooth area of the atrium. And here we want to say that why is the muscles larger? As I said, this is going to be the left ventricle, and the muscles are larger because it requires 3 times more pressure to push that blood from the left ventricle through the aorta into the circulation of the body. So it has more pressure, and it requires a larger contraction to push that blood out. In between here is the interventricular septum, right here, where you would have the bundle of his conduction system will be in this area. Trabecular carne, that is the walls of the ventricles. And if you can see, let's see here, right in here, this is the trabecular carne, which is the walls of the ventricles, okay? If you can also see in this one. And the bicuspid valve, the mitral valve, which is on the left side. And let's see here. I'm going to have to say, will be right here. It is going to be the cuffs of the mitral valve, okay? And over here is the tricuspid valve, and here's the cuffs right here. Right here, and then it is attached to, if you can see this right here, which is the papillary muscle right here, okay? This is the chordinae tendae, which are the strings. It's like the stringy portion that holds the valves in place and pulls on them to close the valves when in ventricular systole, okay? And the last part, as I said, I mentioned the papillary muscles, and you can also see the papillary muscles a little bit right here. This right here is one of the papillary muscles, right here. These are very strong muscles here that hold on to the chordinae tendae. The pulmonary semilunar valve, now again, let me right through. Okay. So, yes. The pulmonary, if you can see here, I'm in the pulmonary valve, the pulmonary trunk. And I would say our pulmonary valve would be a semilunar valve will be right here, because the blood will be coming from the right ventricle through that semilunar valve into the pulmonary trunk. That's going to go into the pulmonary arteries into the lungs. And then the aorta, aortic semilunar valve, did I kind of find it the last time? Yes. And not sure if this right here, but again, the aortic semilunar valve, which is the valve that opens when the blood is going to leave out of the left ventricle through the aorta and into the aorta to go out into the circulatory system. And that is the end of my video. Thank you.